Welcome to Psych with Sigmund, the show where we dive into the fascinating world of psychology and explore the complexities of the human mind. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to talk about a concept that's essential for navigating life's challenges: psychological resilience. So, what is psychological resilience? In simple terms, it refers to our ability to bounce back from adversity, trauma, or significant stress. It's about being able to absorb and recover from difficult experiences rather than becoming overwhelmed by them. This concept has been around for a while, but it gained significant attention in the 1970s and 1980s with the work of psychologists like Emmy Werner and Norman Garmezi, who studied children who grew up in poverty and experienced trauma, yet still managed to thrive. To understand psychological resilience, we need to look at some of the major psychological theories that explain it. One key framework is the stress vulnerability model, which suggests that our ability to cope with stress is influenced by both our genetic predisposition and environmental factors. For example, research has shown that individuals with a history of childhood trauma may be more vulnerable to developing mental health disorders later in life. However, this vulnerability can also be mitigated by the presence of supportive relationships, social connections, and coping skills. Another important theory is the concept of post-traumatic growth, which suggests that people can experience positive changes after going through a traumatic event. This can include things like increased empathy, a greater appreciation for life, or a newfound sense of purpose. My colleagues in the field have found that this type of growth is more likely to occur when individuals are able to process their emotions and reflect on their experiences in a meaningful way. One of the key psychologists who contributed to our understanding of psychological resilience is Dr. Angela Duckworth, who developed the concept of grit. Grit refers to the combination of passion and perseverance that allows people to overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. Research has shown that individuals with high levels of grit are more likely to be resilient in the face of adversity, as they are able to maintain their motivation and focus even when things get tough. In terms of research findings, there have been many studies that have shed light on the factors that contribute to psychological resilience. For example, one study found that individuals who practice mindfulness meditation are better able to regulate their emotions and cope with stress. Another study found that people who have a strong sense of purpose and meaning in life are more likely to be resilient in the face of adversity. Understanding this concept can help people in many areas of their lives, from coping with everyday stress to recovering from traumatic events. For example, imagine you're a college student who has just experienced a breakup. You might feel overwhelmed and struggling to cope with your emotions. But if you have a strong support network, are able to practice self-care, and can reframe the experience as an opportunity for growth, you'll be more likely to bounce back and come out even stronger on the other side. In therapeutic settings, psychologists often use interventions like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and trauma-focused CBT to help people build resilience. These approaches focus on identifying negative thought patterns, developing problem-solving skills, and enhancing emotional regulation. My colleagues in the field have also found that group therapies, such as support groups and social skills training, can be highly effective in promoting psychological resilience. One example of a successful intervention is the Resilience Training Program, developed by Dr. Karen Ravich and Dr. Andrew Mendonza. This program teaches individuals skills like problem-solving, emotional regulation, and cognitive reappraisal, which have been shown to increase resilience in both children and adults. It's about acknowledging that we're all fragile yet capable of growth and transformation. As the Japanese proverb goes, "Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. That's the essence of psychological resilience. In fact, research has shown that it's not the absence of challenges that determines our level of resilience, but rather how we respond to those challenges. This is often referred to as the response to challenge model of resilience. By focusing on building our capacity to respond to challenges in a healthy and adaptive way, we can increase our resilience and improve our overall well-being. Finally, I want to acknowledge that psychological resilience is not just an individual phenomenon, but also a collective one. When we support each other and work together to build resilient communities, we can create a ripple effect of positive change that extends far beyond our own lives. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.